Hey, this is Jim. Welcome to Silent Sales Machine Radio. I've got a guest today who I'll bring on here in just a moment. It's a single mom with 3 kids who's got a busy career job that she loves. She has no intention of leaving that job. I actually asked her that today. She's like, no, I really like my job. I don't see me going full-time Amazon anytime soon. But we're talking about her business getting up to $50,000 a month is a reasonable goal that she set. She's at $30,000 a month right now, doing a great job. She's automated many aspects of it. She talks in very glowing terms today about our coaching program, about our proven REPLENS VA program, which is where we train virtual assistants in the Philippines to work just for you, finding profitable inventory. She's using a couple of them today. We talk about how she pays them, what they do, what her roles are in this business. She's operating at around a 25, 26% net profit margin, which is phenomenal for a part-time job that takes less than around 15 to 20 hours a week or so at the max. That's a really cool business that she's built. We spend time talking about how she can get that up to 50,000, like I said, or even 100,000, some different creative strategies that she should consider. She's just very genuine, very upfront with matter of fact about the business, about how it's going. And I loved hearing her story kind of recap. The last time we had her on the show was about 9 months ago, where she had built her business up to about $10,000 per month. And she was so excited and she came on. But due to the nature of the job that she has, she requested that we use first name only, audio only, which is a request that we're happy to accept for anyone who comes on this show. So people have jobs. They don't want to necessarily have their employer know that they're on our show. If that's you, you've got a great story to tell. We'd love to have you on and be happy to honor that request as well. But just another great person, like I said, from our community who's applying the proven Amazon course strategies that we teach. You've heard us talk to so many people on this podcast over the years, hundreds of episodes at this point. And if you want to see hundreds more people who haven't been on the show yet, talking about this business, the good, the bad, the ugly, celebrations, the challenges of building a business on Amazon, well, you should be jumping into our free Facebook community. There's a link at silentjimdotcom to that Facebook community. There's over 70,000 members in there as I'm recording this. And we've got a whole bunch of tagged posts from sellers who are talking about the progress they're making in their business. And these are real people that you can meet, talk to, see the results that they're getting, can maybe build a relationship. We have ways that you can find out who lives near you in our Facebook group. With 70,000 members, odds are there's somebody in your vicinity that you can go hang out with, and iron sharpens iron. Build some relationships and be encouraged by their story. One thing before I bring our guest today, Amy, onto the screen with me, or actually onto the audio, because again, we're audio only today, is I would appreciate a small favor if you've got a couple moments to go to iTunes. Maybe you're listening on iTunes, which is the most popular podcast listening platform. That's where most of our listeners come from. If you haven't subscribed to this show, clicked to follow this show so that it shows up in your daily feed, well, we'd sure appreciate you doing that. That helps boost us in the ranking, helps ensure you don't miss an episode. And it would be very appreciated by our team because we have a $0 marketing budget for this show. So you subscribing actually really helps spread the word on the type of stories that we love to tell on this show. So thanks for being a part, the best part of this podcast. I'm going to get our guest, Amy, on the line and get an update from her right now. So Amy, welcome back to the program.
I am glad to be here.
Good to have you back. I'm excited to hear what's happened since we spoke last and just share a little bit more of your story. Get us up to speed, maybe a recap and get us up to speed.
So the last time I was on, I believe it was in January of 2022. And that was just, I believe I had been doing the business for about 3 to 4 months. And the reason why I got on was because I ended up hitting my first 10,000 in sales. Then it was sort of, it was a milestone. And then I was asked to be on because of the milestone and how quickly I had hit that milestone. Yeah. So back, I guess that was in January 2022. And then
here we are mid-September for reference of the same year.
Yeah. So it's been 9 months. And since then, I guess a few months ago, I ended up hitting 30,000 in sales per month on
For a
a
rolling 30. Right.
yes. Yeah. And then, but I didn't really announce it because I thought it was too good to be true. And so I just sort of kept it on the down low. And I was like, oh, it can't be that consistent. And one month, it did drop down to like in the mid 20s. And I was like, oh, yeah. So I was just lucky, and but then it slowly went back up to 30 and it stayed at 30 for the past few months, like probably 3 months now. And I was talking to Kyle Curtis and he was like, oh, you should go back on the show. And I was like, oh, really? Okay, why not?
Yeah, well, we love to hear the stories, the struggle stories, the success stories. There's always a lot of hard work and dedication to the process, and not everything goes perfectly, as you well know. But
Yeah.
when it does work and when someone's succeeding, man, we love hearing those stories and getting those updates. And you're certainly a testament to what can happen if you stay at it. So
Yeah.
remind me again, I don't remember. It's been since January since I heard these details. How much time are you putting in per week? Because you have a full-time job, correct?
Right.
So this is a side thing for you. Talk us through that a little bit.
Yeah. So I work at my full time job 40 plus hours a week. And when we first started, we were teleworking, which was great. So I had a little bit more flexibility, but then we ended up having to go back to the office. So it's basically 40 hours in the office, Monday through Friday. And
Plus
then,
commute time. How far away? What's your commute time like?
oh, my commute's like 1 mile.
Oh, so you're good there. I
Yeah,
mean, we've
I'm
had people on
good.
the show like an hour or 2 hours a day in the car.
Yeah, no, my commute, I don't like driving, so commute's very short, but
Nice. You got that going for you for sure.
yeah, exactly. But yeah, like I work a lot of off hours as well for my full-time job, so it ends up taking up a lot of my time. But with the Amazon business, it ended up like I would say like at the beginning, I spent a good maybe 10 to 20 hours a week, lots of evenings, every weekend. My house was a disaster. It was a huge mess. It was a warehouse, basically. My kids were just accustomed to seeing all these boxes. I remember my front porch, sometimes the whole front porch was filled with boxes. And then it was such a mess. It was so disgusting. I'm just grossed out by boxes now. But yeah. But I ended up like once we started to like where I wasn't home as much, I ended up like having to streamline my business where I ended up finding two prep centers. So I'm using prep centers and I have VAs that help with my sourcing. And so for me personally, I probably work about like 2 hours a day on average. And that's very loose because some days I'll skip a day or two, especially I'm a single mom of three plus a fur baby. So some days, like some weeks, I might skip like 3 or 4 days where I don't do anything. And so loosely, I would say an hour to two a day
Yeah. Yeah. So a busy week for you would be 20 hours or so, let's say, on your Amazon business. That would be like the peak.
to peak.
Yeah.
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 More realistically, more like 15 hours or so a week.
Yeah.
For
You're
what
right.
is now running, are you staying pretty consistent at 30,000 a month in sales?
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
Pretty
Awesome.
consistent.
That's
Yeah.
great. Good for you. Well done. As a single mom, that's pretty incredible.
Okay. Thanks.
I'm blown away. I
Oh, thank
really am. I've
you.
I've done a few interviews over the years, a good handful, I'd say 10 or 15 of the 500 episodes, maybe more than
Uh-huh.
that, or with single moms. And I'm always just sitting here trying to put myself in your shoes, and I just can't. I can't make the leap. Like, what's that like? And
Oh,
this
you just
impresses
did
me. It
it.
really does. You've got to be a multitasker, unlike there's something inside moms that I just can't come up with internally. Like, how
Oh,
do you do that?
yeah,
So
you just do it. You just make it
you do
work.
what has to be done, right? That's what loving
Yeah.
parents do. But good for
That's
you. Seriously, congratulations.
thank
But
you.
so those, well, let's go back because you said you were filling your house with boxes. So I guess I'm going to paint a picture. You tell me if I'm right. I seem to
Uh-huh.
remember you were ordering online, product comes to your house, you were prepping it yourself. boxing it up again, sending it out. So you had like everything in your own home and
Right.
moved away from that model. It sounds like you're still doing most of your shopping online, correct?
Yeah, it's all online.
But it's going to a prep center instead of your front porch.
Yes. Yeah. I'm antisocial. I don't like stores. So
Right. So you don't do any retail sourcing.
no, I don't do any retail arbitrage. Everything's online.
Right.
And everything goes to my the two prep centers that I'm using.
Right. And for those who don't know, we've got prepcenternetwork.com. It's a free list of all the prep centers that we're aware of. If you know of one that's not on the list, let us know. Prepcenternetwork.com. I'll put a link to that in the show notes, like I always do for the listeners.
Yeah, and I found them, the two prep centers on that list.
Did you? Good. Good.
Yeah. So should I share which ones I use?
Oh, that's fine. Yeah.
Okay,
I mean, because they've all got their different parameters and sometimes they take new sellers, sometimes they don't. Sometimes they're taking on new accounts, sometimes they aren't.
But. Yeah. So the first one, I think when I first started, I was like, oh, I heard about, because I live in California and taxes are ridiculous. So I really wanted a place where there's no taxes. And so I found one in Oregon that's just amazing. And I think it's a little bit more pricey. It's Pacific Prep, but they do a great job. But it's like super, I just love how I don't have to pay taxes. And that's
it. Oregon's a sales tax free state. I didn't realize that.
Yeah. Yeah.
Really? How did I not know that? I thought I had them all.
Oh, no. Oregon, definitely.
Beautiful. Okay. Yeah. Well, that's good to know. And for those who don't know, and this isn't necessarily tax advice, talk to your accountant, but if you order stuff online and you have it shipped to your house in a state that has a sales tax, you're going to pay your local state sales taxes on that item. It comes to your house in California, like with Amy, she's paying the California state sales tax. If you ship it to Oregon, you don't pay that. And you think, oh, that's a huge advantage. And it kind of is, it really is. But even those state sales taxes that you pay in California, your accountant will tell you, hey, track it. It actually can be credited back to you. You can apply for, and you get the same credit in the end, but you got to track it. So the convenience of not having to track it is really what we're talking about for the vast majority of sellers, if not all sellers in the US. That's what it comes down to. But it is very convenient. And some people say, I basically pay for my prep. I'm saving, $1 to $5 per shipment. That pays for the prep on that shipment. So, $1 to $5 per unit or whatever it happens to be, whatever the math is on your percent for your state. But yeah, so I just wanted to make sure and explain to folks what that means, because there's some great prep centers in states that do have sales taxes. And many of them will actually even help you track that and help you get that report put together for you so you can get your money back from the state. Because if you're buying something to resell, you don't pay sales taxes on it in any state that I'm aware of.
Yeah.
But anyway, there's that little side nugget of training. But so you've got two prep centers. You mentioned
and then I'm
one in Oregon. Where's your other one?
Using one in Virginia. And I figured someone referred
East Coast and West Coast too. I know. So you maybe save some shipping from time to time.
Yes. Different products to different locations. And then hoping to branch out on sales as well for the different areas.
That's a good strategy. So are you split down the middle? You had about half your inventory going to one, half to the other, or like an 80-20? Or yeah.
Well, because I've been with the one in Oregon for since I'd say January, February. Mm-hmm. So most still goes there. But then I would say I'm at 60-40 now with the one in Virginia.
Yeah. I hear a lot of people that do kind of split it up, because if one of your prep centers has a challenge or they get a little behind, you've kind of hedged your bets. There's no reason not to use a few different prep centers. And for those who don't know, one of the other creative solutions, this is me just brainstorming out loud with the listeners today, Amy, is you could use a neighbor across the street and have the same effect in a lot of cases, right? The single mom lives across the street, has some extra time, teach them how to do it, have it all sent to your house, but she picks it up off your porch every day, right? So there's many creative solutions to getting the boxes out of your own house.
Yeah, I did
where you're profitable.
I did that at the beginning as well. I had an employee that she would actually prep at my house, and she would do all the work, and so that I didn't have to do it. And that helped quite a bit as well.
Right. So let's talk through the rest of your business. You're ordering products online. And so you said you work an hour or two a day, 15 to 20 a week on average, and at a nice profit margin.
About 68% right now.
Yeah, that's your ROI, I
Oh,
take it.
ROI, yeah, and then I'd say like 20 something, like 26%
Nice. Yeah.
probably of
Okay.
profit.
So we're talking putting $6,000 to $7,000 a month in the bank, net profit after everything's said
Don't
and
say it
done.
that too loud.
Why?
Yeah,
Why is that?
just 'cause.
Oh, I
I
got you.
don't like yeah.
Okay. Well, I mean, that's just doing the math.
Yeah,
$30,000,
yeah,
26, net profit margin.
yeah,
There's other expenses that go in there. If you buy a computer, that cuts in your net margin, that sort of thing. But just on average, those are just the round numbers. And we're honoring your request to keep you anonymous today because of the nature of the work you do in jobs. So, yeah,
yeah.
right.
Thanks.
Yeah, of course, of course. And we get a good handful of people that want to stay fairly anonymous. So it's something we're used to doing. But those are just the round numbers. Is it typical? Is it average? Is it something everyone can expect? No, it takes a lot of hard work to get to this point. And you've had to
Yeah,
do a lot of hard work to get to
yeah.
this point. But that's a great side gig
Oh,
for
yeah.
single mom of
Yeah,
three. Good,
definitely.
great
Yeah,
work.
yeah. The kids like it.
Oh, do they help in any
Well,
way?
no, they like the perks of it.
Oh, for sure. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah,
Do you
yeah.
see yourself ever making a transition to doing this full
No,
time?
probably not.
Yeah.
Probably not. I
Yeah.
don't like I think it's running well as it is.
Yeah, and there's no reason to change that. It fits very
Yeah.
well into your lifestyle, and so do you work it typically in the evenings?
Yeah, or early morning. It depends on my mood.
Yeah,
It's yeah, that's what I really like about it because it's really up to me where
right.
I don't have to decide, it's not like, oh, you have to report at 9 AM and then do those 2 hours from 9 to 11. I just
Mhm.
do it
Yeah.
whenever I see fit.
So you sound like a bit like me. We've had students come through our community and coaches who are very regimented, and like Monday is a day where I do X, Y, and Z. And then Tuesday from 9 to 11, I do A, B, and C. Like, I'm not that way. I'm more
Yeah,
like, what
I
needs attention? Take care of that. What sounds interesting today? Let's do that next. And are you more like that personality style of
yeah, yeah,
what am I in the mood for?
yeah, exactly. Yeah, I don't really if I wake up and I'm like, "Oh, I should maybe I'll do that." And then but if I have a set schedule, then I won't follow through. So I just go as whatever comes up.
You've learned to be flexible with 3 kids.
Yeah, definitely,
And what are
definitely.
their ages?
I have a 9-year-old and 2 7-year-olds.
Okay,
Yeah.
that's great. Are they little helpers or are they little troublemakers?
They're pretty helpful.
That's
Yeah.
great.
Yeah, especially my oldest because she was a pretty much a little mom because of
Right.
the twins. She had to, like, really take help me with them.
Yeah, the oldest child being a female means you get a second mom in most
Exactly.
circumstances from what I've heard. Now in
Yeah.
our case, our only girl is our youngest, so she's the princess and she kind of rules
Oh,
with an
yeah.
iron fist even at times. But,
Yeah.
never really that second mom role, because she just had big brothers taking care of her, getting her, like, "Hey, someone make me a sandwich." Okay, 3 brothers scramble to go do it.
Yeah. Yeah.
But yeah,
I
having
know.
that second mom, I'm sure has helped. But well, let's talk through the reality, the routine to the degree that it exists of like, what do you do in a week? Are you the one you mentioned you're using a virtual assistant, proven replensva.com is where you went. You mentioned Kyle Curtis. He runs that program for us. We'll stick a link in the show notes. PRV, we call it proven replens VA. But what is your routine to the extent
Um,
that it exists?
I guess so I have 2 VAs right now, and then they source for me Monday through Friday, and they basically just find products based on the parameters that I set for them. And they send me the list every day. They're in the Philippines, so the time's a little different, but by Thursday, I have 5 days worth of replens. And each day it ranges from like 8 to 10 new replens. So that's quite a few. So basically every day I get those. And I guess if I'm working on a daily basis, I would get those replens and then I would shop. I'd open up the spreadsheet and then I would purchase however many, based on like the numbers. I'll just purchase whatever's on the list.
Right.
And
so they found you specific ASINs and you go and research. Do you verify then and check the data, or have you gotten to the point where you just kind of trust
oh
that they've hit it?
no, I always check.
Yeah, good.
That's for a while I stopped, but they're humans as well. We're all
Sure.
humans. There's
Yeah.
always some errors.
Right.
And so I still like check, but at this point, I could go through the list of 8 to 10 within like 30 minutes and I'm done.
Mm-hmm.
And that's including looking at them and making my purchases and putting the listings into the prep center's spreadsheets as well.
Right. So they know what's coming and the quantities. And
Yeah.
What categories are you mainly selling
Uh,
in?
it varies. I was, as when we first start, because I did the coaching program as well.
Oh, right.
Yeah. So, like we're taught to do groceries, that's pretty much the most guaranteed category of that sells. But then as time has gone on, I've really gone on and I do more toys. I do lots of cosmetics. I do pets, food. I do video games, board games.
Pretty random mix.
Yeah, just like really tools, like
Yeah.
stuff I don't even know what
Yeah.
they are. And I'm
Exactly.
just like, okay, I'll buy it. And I just send it in. I don't even know what it is.
The numbers are good.
Yeah, the numbers are really good.
Yeah.
And sometimes like they'll find stuff where the ROI is like it's like 400%. I'm like, ooh, I'm gonna buy as like 100 of these.
What's the deepest you go when you first test an ASIN? Now, how deep do you go typically?
You mean how many I purchased?
Yeah, how many units?
Oh, so yeah, I was just talking to my friend that does this as well, and she was saying how she only buys 1 or 2, and I'm like, "Oh, but that's such a waste of time to me," because I'm like, like, time is money, and I just want like, I usually buy the max,
Mm-hmm.
or like a lucky number that I feel is lucky based on my feelings.
Yeah.
So
So you're confident enough in the process. Do you ever get burned? Let's say out of the last 50 ASINs you've bought a good quantity of, like more than 20 as your first initial purchase. Because typically we do advise, buy a handful and see how it goes. Sometimes the numbers are a little misleading and it moves a little slower than you thought. Other times the numbers didn't look that great and you send in 5 units and they sell as soon as they hit. You're like,
right.
whoa, I'm on a winner here, and
Yeah.
is missing a data point somewhere,
Yeah.
perhaps. We'll get back to the program in just a moment, but I need to tell you about one of the latest great sponsors of this community. I'm talking about Seller Snap. They have a repricing tool that they showed off at our recent conference in Louisville, and people are really loving it. If you've got other sellers sharing the buy box with you on some of your listings on Amazon, a repricer can be the advantage you need to win the sale more often. SellerSnap is unique in that they offer an artificial intelligence powered game theory repricer tool. Pretty cool stuff. They're giving our community 20% off for 3 months to check it out. If you're not using a repricer yet and you've got a lot of inventory that you're starting to sell on Amazon, this could really change your business. Again, check out SellerSnap. Here's the website. Go to jimc.biz/snap to get the 20% off for 3 months. That link again, jimc.biz/snap. That link will be in the show notes as well. Okay, let's get back to the show. Other times the numbers didn't look that great and you send in 5 units and they sell as soon as they hit. You're like,
Right.
whoa, I'm on a winner here, and
Yeah.
is missing a data point somewhere,
Yeah.
perhaps. So just talk me through, have you been burned? Do you have 50 units of something sitting there going, oh man, I shouldn't have bought this?
No, I don't. I probably don't have 50 units just sitting there. I've been burned where I've had like IP complaints and
Mm-hmm.
I've had, to have the item shipped back to me. But then I buy from stores where the return policy is pretty lenient. And then
Sure.
I've been able to return stuff and just recoup
Mm-hmm.
what I
Do you
spent.
sell any on eBay or you just pretty much try to return, recoup?
I just return and recoup.
Yeah. Yeah. Fantastic. So you don't have a little death pile in your garage of stuff you just can't do anything with? No?
No,
Good for you.
I can't stand clutter.
Good for you. That's
Yeah.
great. You've really got this dialed in. So your two VAs, between the two of them, are finding between 8 to 10 a day of new
Yeah.
replens, and you're doing the shopping. Any
Right.
plans to offload that duty onto someone else and get them trained up to speed?
Yeah, I was thinking about that. Like one of the VAs, I was actually thinking of giving my credit card to.
Hmm.
And then I was just like, I don't really feel comfortable with that
Not
yet.
yet, but maybe
Yeah.
over time. Yeah,
I don't know. That seems risky. Have
sure.
you done that?
Yeah, I get it. But over time, that's the nature of expanding your business, is trusting
Yeah.
and giving people the ability to actually do damage. I mean, that's what trust is I've let you in to where you could do damage.
Right.
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 And that
Yeah.
takes time,
Yeah.
consistency over
Definitely.
time. But it
Yeah.
really truly is rare. I mean, I've been doing, even before the Amazon, I was doing the eBay thing, and the using Filipino virtual assistants has been a thing in my life, a reality for easily 15 plus years.
Okay.
And I just am unaware of the scenarios where a trustworthy, reliable worker, now sometimes they'll quit unexpectedly. Of course, that's human nature. But to take full advantage of their employer and like run up a credit card bill, which if someone does unauthorized spending, you call your credit card company and say, hey, that was a rogue employee.
Right.
And it's all instantly credited back to you anyway. And you fire them, and that's unfortunate. But the level of damage they could actually do is fairly minimal. And it's very unlikely as well if it's someone that is relying on you paying them for their sustenance, right?
Right.
So
Right.
yeah, I just encourage you, it's something to explore. And it doesn't have to be someone in the Philippines. It could be someone, that you pay $15 an hour here domestically and put
Oh,
them in
that's so
charge.
much money.
Someone, or, but
Yeah.
if it completely frees up your time,
Right.
that becomes pretty valuable, buying back your time. And then you can expand, grow, do other things, but you've got an automated system. You've got an asset. It's a sellable asset at that point that you can
Uh-huh.
apply a monetary value to. It's a turnkey. You can put someone else in charge, right?
Right.
Just dreaming forward with you, not pressure.
Yeah.
There's no sense of urgency on doing these things, obviously.
Uh-huh.
Got a great system. But
Yeah.
if you're sick for 3 months or life changes, you still got a viable operating system at that point, right?
Right.
Worth
Exactly.
considering. Well, you mentioned you did coaching, and we probably talked about this last time, but that was 9 months ago and 100 episodes ago. So
Yeah.
remind me, how'd that go? And what do you think of the program? What would you say to folks who are considering the coaching, the virtual assistant program, just in general? Just talk to what we have to offer around here with transparency. No need to sugarcoat anything. Just what's that journey been like?
I think it's great. Like, I think for a new seller, which I think the coaching was invaluable because Amazon's very, very scary. And I remember just opening my account I was so overwhelmed.
It's
So
intimidating, isn't it?
it is. It is. And with coaching, like when you're a new seller, definitely, like that's definitely something that's like you can't, it's worth more than what I paid for. So definitely worth it. And yeah, like it was great having like the two coaches, the reactive and the proactive coaches.
Right.
And it was just like, yeah, like constantly having the support was great. And even now, I rarely ever contact them, but if I do, like they just answer right away.
Yeah. Once a student, always a student is one of our mottos around here.
Yeah,
And
yeah,
having done this for 18 years, that's a fairly significant commitment, but we've stuck with it, and I'm very
yeah,
proud of the fact that we have, because what we've learned, Amy, is the great students who are the people that you treat with professionalism and respect and care, and you love them and you pour into
uh-huh,
them, and they begin to succeed. They end up delivering so much more value back into the organization than what you poured into them in one
right,
way or another. Either a
right,
great testimonial, or they become a coach, or they do a presentation at an event, and they kind of become a celebrity in the community, almost, of like, oh wow, that person, I just love how they present and their ideas, and I want to be like them.
yeah,
the,
yeah,
the fact that we poured more than they invested, well, it comes back in big ways for us and in
Right.
momentum and great stories like this. Having a long line of people willing to say great things like you're sharing today, that's invaluable, right? So it was a
Yeah.
great investment for us to continue serving you well past the point of the expiration of whatever the coaching contract was.
Right. Yeah. Thank you.
Of
Yeah.
course.
The VA programs just, I can't even say enough good things about the VA program. That's like taken the business to the next level because I don't think I could do it without the VAs.
Hmm.
And how Kyle runs it is just like, it's great. Because all full transparency, at the beginning, I got two VAs that weren't so great. And I was like, I was like so frustrated because they just couldn't get it right. There were just constant problems. And then I went to Kyle and I was like, it's not working out. Like, and then he was at first, like, he's like, okay, let me first retrain them. And then I was like, okay, cool. Like, that's cool. I don't have to train them. I don't have to do anything really. I just tell Kyle and he takes care of it. I'm like, okay, cool. And then after that, still like it just didn't click. And I think some people, it's not so easy doing the sourcing. I mean, it's not easy. I know, like I did it, and that's why I use VAs. And like so it's understandable. It's just not for everyone. And then so like right away he just replaces them with another VA. And I'm just like, where else can you get that? Like if I'm trying to find another, like if I fire an employee myself and I have to retrain another employee, and that's just time and effort and energy and money that I just don't want to bother with. So yeah, like the program's it's really great.
Well,
And
I appreciate that. Yeah, we've served over 300 clients at this point, you being one of them. And
yeah,
we committed early on. It took Kyle about a year to convince me this program was viable. And I'd send him some guinea pigs basically to kind of go through the process and
yeah,
watching the feedback. And we've had other people approach us with different virtual assistant programs and things. But to my knowledge, we're still the only ones in the industry that assigns a virtual assistant to work only for you. So we train them and then they go to work for you and you pay them. Is it $4 an hour for your two VAs?
yeah. I gave one a raise a few months ago because I've been with him he's been with me for a while. So
Right. Good.
um, paying him 5 now.
Yeah.
So
Which is huge. That's the equivalent of it spends equivalent of like an $80,000 a year income in the US at $5 an hour. That's pretty incredible,
yeah,
right?
yeah,
Like that's a good career for him. Are they
yeah,
both full time?
yeah,
Right.
yeah,
So for $4 an hour, for a total of $8 an hour, you get two VAs supplying you a steady stream of 8 to 10 winning products per day. And
yeah,
in running a very profitable operation, it's a win-win-win all the way around. And it
right,
just, I'm in admiration of this community and the creativity and the ideas and the concepts that have floated and the reality that it allows you to have of a very flexible side job, which you could scale even more if you wanted to. It's just
right.
a matter of trusting somebody with that credit card. That's the only little hill you got to kind of climb. And there's creative ways to do that to the
Yeah,
point where, and there's no reason. What do well, let me just ask you this. I was going to start to think through some numbers out loud, but you tell me, like, how big do you think this could get?
yeah. That's the thing I was actually going to ask you about because I really want to scale to about 50,000 a month.
Hmm.
But I'm like, how do I get there?
Hmm. Well, I could give you some ideas. You want to kick it around a
Yeah,
little bit? Because I
yeah.
think you can get to
That's
six
good.
figures a month. There's not that much. The journey from 0 to 10
Uh-huh.
was as hard as it gets. Would you agree with
Okay.
that? The journey from 10 to
Yeah,
30 was a little easier climb, correct?
yeah, yeah.
The climb from 30 to 50 is a couple little procedural changes.
Okay.
Okay. Then the journey from 50 to 100, again, a few procedural changes, mindset changes, leadership type. It's more working on you than techniques and strategies. It's like
Oh, okay.
mindset. It's a commitment to saying, am I truly the only person that could be doing what I'm doing right now? And if the
Okay.
answer is no, which it's
Yeah.
going to be no every
Yeah, of
time,
course. Yeah.
right? I mean, in some cases, in some careers, that's not true.
Right.
If you're a famous artist, people want to know that you're the one that painted the painting. You are the one that has to do that part. right?
Right.
This isn't that. You're playing roles that you could easily step away and put someone else in place of. So the way you start to see some bigger numbers, just scaling out the replens only. The model you've got now, another virtual assistant, one or
Okay.
two people doing the buying, right? I mean, the numbers work. So
Yeah.
that's the simple answer. That gets you to 50. You add another VA, you're
Okay.
at 50, right? Makes sense. But you can start to get into branded bundles too, which changes the churn of the model a little bit. So I
Right.
would suggest you study the provenbrandbuilding.com module. It's one of the modules that's in the Proven Amazon course, which you've
Uh-huh.
got access to. But you start building out these branded bundles. Now you're
Uh-huh.
sitting on ASINs listings that belong only to you. Your margins are steady,
Uh-huh.
and you can use the same prep centers. You don't have to fill your house up with product. But I would think that would be a good next step for you to investigate proven brand building,
Uh-huh.
because it's just there's another level of stability there. So the bigger numbers don't mean more work.
Okay.
They don't mean bigger bills. And prep centers love getting 500 units of the exact same thing over and over again instead of,
Yeah.
10 of this, 20 of that, 30 of this, right?
Right.
Your prices are going to drop in the prep center too. You can
Okay.
negotiate that. Are you familiar with the concept of the branded bundles? Do you know what I'm talking about there?
Not really.
Okay, let me talk through it for your sake and for the listener's sake as well. So if you go to provenbrandbuilding.com, it used to be a standalone course that we sold
Right.
separately. Now it's, again, one of the dozens of modules inside the Proven Amazon course collection. And the basic premise is this: you can get a branded box. Just imagine a box with whatever brand you come up with. We help you with that part if you'd like. We've got a service called Humminbird. Make myself a note here to write that down. They can help you with the brand registry, the trademark, all that. Now you've got your own brand, logo, font, nice looking, and you got a box. You put
Uh-huh.
whatever you want in that box. For the most part, it's got to be products you're approved to sell on Amazon. Some people think, oh, I can sell whatever I want. Even if I'm not allowed to sell it as a seller, I can put it in my bundle box and now I am
Uh-huh.
allowed to sell it. No, you've got to be approved to sell the products that go in
Okay.
there. But you could have, like you mentioned, I'm just going to creatively brainstorm with you for a minute. You mentioned you're selling some pet foods.
Uh-huh.
Well, let's say like the 3 or 4 favorite dog treats that you sell from different brands. And then you've got a dog treat gift pack, right? For the
Yeah.
dog owner, and you try out some new treats kind of thing. And you get the same 4 different brands in there every time, but it's in your branded box. So no one else can copy that. No one else can sell against that ASIN, I should say. If you don't
Oh,
have your branded box. And you can put things in there that are branded only to you, a branded, like a refrigerator magnet or something that adds a little bit of value to the bundle. It's got your brand on it. Maybe you have a little website or something. Do you see where we're going? Where you're no
right.
longer selling right alongside a bunch of other sellers on the same listings, which is
Right.
lucrative. That's the replens model, right? It's phenomenal. But you start to set yourself aside
Okay.
as having your own branded, trademarked bundle without
Uh-huh.
inventing any new products. You're just putting other people's branded products in your box.
Okay.
And once it has momentum, we just brought on a new coach. I talked to him last week. He'll be on the podcast soon, somewhere around this episode, who's doing about 6 figures a month. And his conversation with me was awesome. He's like, I've got a lot of extra time on my hands now. My team's handling everything. Like I'm not doing anything in my business.
Uh-huh.
I'm selling a bunch of branded bundles, 6 figures a month worth of branded bundles, very nice profit margins. Prep Centers handles all the work. Like, I want to start doing some coaching, I think, because I know this stuff and I got plenty of time on my hands. Like,
Right.
that's pretty cool, right? So those are
Yeah.
some of that's the vision of the next levels for your business. Keep doing
Okay.
what you're doing. Absolutely. You've got a winning model,
Uh-huh.
but free up your time a little bit. Start exploring the proven brand building module.
Okay.
I think that would be my next, because you don't strike me as someone who wants to go out and necessarily start doing some consulting and having a bunch of clients. No, you
No.
don't have time for that. You want more stuff that you can kind of launch and it just kind of runs and you monitor the team that's doing the work. And that would be a good solution for you.
Okay.
Right. It's not getting on the phone, building a lot of new relationships. You'd be working a little bit more with our team, people you already know, like, and trust on the Humminbird
Uh-huh.
team, names you
Okay.
recognize. That's probably the way to go. And that gets you the 2 tips I've given you, that gets you to 50 and then to 100 within, a year, 18 months.
Okay.
to where you've got it, and you've got a sellable brand. You could
Okay.
sell that brand to somebody who makes you a nice offer. Now they own those ASINs and you step away. Get it, you can't do that with the Easter egg hunt model of selling a bunch of random widgets. You can
Right.
do it once you've got a brand.
Right. Wow.
Any questions on any of that? Does that
I guess
sound?
like at the beginning, because we always base things on the keep it chart, but
Mhm.
when you're creating a brand, there's no
No
history.
history. Mhm.
So would
You
you
test
just
small.
you would test?
Yeah, you test small, you do a few creative things to get a little momentum, see if it catches on. You're leveraging the power of the brand names that are going in your box. You got to do that the right way. You don't want
Okay.
to just jump blindly and think, oh, I can put Purina as my description. Yay. No,
Yeah.
it's got to be, I think the rule of thumb we're going by right now is the first 6 words in your description, your primary title for the listing, none of those can be brand name keywords that you don't own. It's kind of,
Okay.
you can tuck it in at the end, but if you tuck it into the beginning, Amazon gets a little nervous on you and brands get nervous, and you got to make sure you spelled it right and you recognize the trademarks of the brands you're including. It's got to be your own pictures. You can't just go to their website and grab a picture, nice looking dog playing with a Purina chew toy. You can't, no, you can't use that. You've got to get your own
Okay.
pictures, right? So that's the stuff we teach you in the course, is how to
Okay.
navigate that. But then you do get the power of that brand kind of helping move your brand forward when done the right way. Uh,
Okay.
but there's some things to learn. I don't
Yeah.
encourage anyone just to go out and buy a stamp with their name on it and put it on a box and fill it with a
Right.
bunch of brands you're not allowed to sell. There's a lot of
Right.
ways to do it wrong, and you can get yourself in a
Yeah.
little bit of trouble.
Yeah, I could imagine.
hmm So that's
Yeah.
why we build a whole course around it. But it'd be time well spent. And
Okay.
you do have to get a new listing some momentum. Sometimes it just takes off on its own, though. It's
Okay.
incredible. You test enough, one of them is just going to take off. So you don't create 50 of these boxes. You create 2 or 3, send it in, try to get
Okay.
some momentum, maybe do a few paid ads, maybe find a
Yeah.
Facebook group, make a special offer in there and say, hey guys, go check out my new listing on Amazon. Let me know what you think, right? Your
Yeah.
pet lover Facebook group. A little, you can get fun with how you kind of promote, but once it's got momentum, then it can take on a life of its own very quickly.
Right. Right. That sounds exciting. That's like a fun little project.
Absolutely. Yeah. And we've got plenty of people taking
Yeah.
that approach. A lot of
Yeah.
our most successful replens sellers, as they start to kind of settle into the routine and realize how automatable this whole thing is, and they're no longer doing the day to day tasks, and they say,
Right.
what's next? That's where we're shuffling them right now. It's like, hey, check this out. And they're starting to have some fun with that model as kind of the next step up.
Okay. Cool.
Well,
Cool.
what other questions you got from me? Anything else along those lines, or anything that I've gone over with you?
I have something off topic that I wanted to ask you about
I
actually.
love it.
Do
Take me
you?
out of the cold.
Okay. So just say you've been selling something for, I don't know, a month or two, and then you end up deciding to buy 100 of this one item because it's been selling so amazingly.
Right.
And then you send it in, and out of nowhere, Amazon jumps on the listing.
Right.
What do you do?
Well, let me revisit the 100 number before we talk about
I
Amazon.
know I'm
I
exaggerating.
know for sure. I get it. But if you're following the replen system, you're never buying more than a month or two
I
worth
know.
of inventory. So
Okay.
if that 100 represents, as long as we're saying it represents a month or two worth of what you were hoping to sell,
Right.
just wanted to clarify that for everybody who's thinking through the example with us, which isn't very many listings that you'll be on as a replen seller. Typically, you're going to see 5, 10, 15, 20, like some of our hottest sellers, one a day is kind of smoking, right? Like it's rare that we have something that sells multiple times per day as a great replen. But even all of that, if Amazon steps in, I don't worry at all until they've been on it for about a month solid, just destroying everybody else. And
Okay.
let's think about Amazon from I have to go a little philosophical to answer this question too. Make sure we're thinking about, we got the whole table clear in front of us of what this topic involves. Because a lot of people, their first reaction is very emotional, like, oh, that's why I can't stand Amazon. Anytime I get something that's got momentum, they come in and they cut the price in half. Oh, I'm so mad at Amazon. Well, think of it this way. If Amazon wasn't offering the vast majority of the most popular products at really attractive prices, people wouldn't be shopping there in droves. So they've built all these loss leaders in to the system. You familiar with the term loss leader, Amy,
Yeah.
in retail? Right. So all these prices, but they're not making any profit on it. No one is. But the
Right.
customers are thrilled because that's the same price they'd have to pay if they got in their car and drove 4 hours to a store, that's not in their city. And it's the same price on the shelf there. And they can just push a button and get it on their front porch an hour from now for that same price. That's what keeps customers coming back. So Amazon has an obligation and a commitment on the most popular products to provide that service. Now, the good news for us as sellers is they're able to do that on maybe 30% of the ASINs they'd like to be able to do it on. They just can't. As big as they are, I've heard it from senior executives at Amazon. We cannot hire enough shoppers to keep up with the demand for the most in-demand products that we sell. We rely on the third-party seller marketplace very heavily. We're a huge percentage of that. So when Amazon does do the sniff test on an ASIN and they look and go, wow, a lot of people are buying this, we should probably call the manufacturer and order 5,000 units right now and sell them at cost to stay competitive. They're not doing that to destroy the third-party sellers. They're doing it to keep the shoppers coming. But you can expect that kind of activity from time to time. The good news is every day there's hundreds of thousands or maybe even millions of ASINs that open up where Amazon has kind of stepped back and go, okay, this was really hot 6 months ago, but it's not hot enough for us to justify ordering another 10,000 units. We're stepping back. Third-party marketplace, you guys got this one. Okay. So it's opening up. For everyone that shuts down, there's 10 that open up. So the game really is, as you've experienced, there's a reason you're finding new replens, 8 to 10 a day, right? Well, let's say you're finding 8 to 10 a day. So in a week, you've got your 40 to 60 new ASINs. We all know within a month, those 40 or 60, 5 or 10 of them are going to start to slide on you.
Yeah, definitely. Right?
And 5 to 10 of them are just going to be beautiful for the next 8 months or maybe even 2 years. But that's the game. So you're always moving in and moving out of ASINs. You're never overcommitting to any of them. You're going where the demand is outpacing the supply, underserved ASINs. You're jumping in and you've built a system to do that. Right?
Okay.
So it should come as no surprise.
Yeah.
I'll say it this way, Amy. If Amazon became the place where Amazon never competed with third-party sellers, it would also become the place where nobody ever shopped anymore.
Right. That's true. That's true. Right?
Yeah. Like, why would I go pay 4 times the price of this that I could go to Walmart and buy this item? And that's the same on everything. What keeps customers coming back right now is 60, 70% of the time, they're pretty price competitive.
Right.
But on the stuff that I got to have right now, and I don't care what the price is, I'm going to throw that in the cart too.
Yeah. Yeah.
So that's my answer. You keep finding new ASINs. You move on. You take your lumps. You find someone who sells on eBay and say, hey, I'm recalling 100 units of this. Make me an offer. Right?
Okay.
Facebook Marketplace.
Yeah.
You got to, you have a community yard sale. Here comes the inventory into the driveway. It's like,
yeah.
But you don't overcommit.
Yeah. Okay. Good answer.
Long answer. I'm good at giving long answers, but I like to think about it from every angle possible. So I'm as thorough as possible so people can listen to it again and learn some valuable lessons, maybe things they haven't heard. So maybe you didn't need all that today, Amy, but there's probably a listener out there who was like, oh, okay, it makes sense now.
Yeah. No, I know someone that needs that answer. So
yeah.
perfect.
Good. Okay. Good.
Yeah.
Well, what else was on your list of questions or anything else you want to go over? It's been a great episode, and it's really good getting an update from you. I treasure times like this with our students who are on this journey of progress, and I see future leadership potential. I know you've got a great job that you love, and odds of you leaving it are slim, but maybe we could start to carve out some roles for you around here in some other way. I'd love your story. I'd love, a single mom that's just killing it. Hero to me.
Thank you. Yeah, no, I think we covered everything.
Beautiful. Well, that's good. Well, it's great hanging out with you again today, Amy. Like I said, I really appreciated it. So I'll talk to the listeners here as we start to wrap this one up.
Okay, great.
And hey, thank you for hanging out with Amy and I. This was one of those anonymous episodes, which is a good chance for me to remind you, because of the nature of Amy's work, she asked, hey, no last names. This is audio only, please. And we're happy to honor that. And maybe that's you. You've got a great story to tell. You want to share some things you've learned from this community. We'd be happy to do the same thing with you. First name only, audio only, that kind of thing. We've had plenty of people, for example, that have said, hey, if I really can't afford for my employer to find out how great my Amazon business is going because I'd be nervous for my job. All right, yeah, we can help you keep it anonymous. That's perfectly fine. But Amy's just another great member of our community doing great stuff. And she was happy to jump up and continue to share the story. So hopefully you benefited in great ways. I enjoyed the time spent today. But keep this in mind. We have many other great episodes. If you're new to this community, man, I really encourage you, go listen to 10, 20, 30 episodes. These real people doing life, doing business, doing the things that we teach around here. We love providing this free service as a source of encouragement and inspiration. So hopefully that's what you received today. But from the entire team, from my incredible guest today, Amy, thank you. Appreciate you, Amy.
Yeah, thank you for having me.
Yeah, you're welcome. And from the whole team, the podcast team, everyone who puts these episodes together, God bless the business building warriors out there. We're so glad you joined us today, and we'll talk to you again soon. Hey, before I let you go for the day, one last reminder about a great new sponsor of this program. They've got a great offer for us as well. I'm talking about SellerSnap. That's the repricer that can help you win the buy box more often by using artificial intelligence powered game theory technology in the buy box. So you've got a really smart robot helping you price your inventory to win more sales at a better margin. If you're not using a repricer yet, you probably should be if you're spending any time at all, any significant time at all, repricing your inventory trying to win the buy box. A repricer can make a huge difference. Go check out the 20% off offer that's good for 3 months as a listener to this show at the website jimc.biz/snap. Again, jimc.biz/snap. Go check out SellerSnap and their special offer. The link is in the show notes too if you have trouble with it. Hey, we'll talk to you next time.
Thank you for listening to Silent Sales Machine Radio. Visit silentjim.com for a link to our free newsletter, our free Facebook group, and all of our resources mentioned on today's show.